Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss about supermoon. As you might be knowing, supermoon, each year we see supermoon in news, right? So there's a chance that UPSC can ask a question regarding supermoon. Now let's see what we mean by supermoon, right? So supermoon simply means that the moon will be appearing much brighter and larger than the usual case. Should note down that the actual size of the moon is not getting larger, or the actual brightness is not changing, rather than it appears more brighter and larger, right? That phenomena we call it as supermoon. Okay, and the most recent supermoon was on December 3rd, right? This year 2017, December 3rd. Now regarding the formation of supermoon. A supermoon is a new or full moon closely coinciding with perigee, right? There you should understand there are two important terms in that: new or full moon plus the perigee, right? So if we are having the perigee position, it means that the moon revolves around the earth in an elliptical orbit. Ellipse means this kind of the oval shape. So what happens is that in an ellipse there will be one closest approach and there will be another farthest approach, right? Here in this picture, this side you can see that the moon is much closer to this earth, right? That we call it as perigee. Okay, now the closest approach between earth and sun we call it as perihelion. Here the closest approach between moon and the earth we call it as perigee, right? Same way the farthest approach we can say that it's apogee. Okay, so this is perigee and apogee. Next one, the new moon and the full moon. So this is a phase change of moon. I'm not going to explain the entire figure. Rather we are going to stick with the new moon and the full moon. Okay, so new moon happens when the moon comes in between earth and the sun. Okay, at the same time the full moon occurs when the earth comes in between sun and the moon. Here you can see that during the new moon we will be seeing the moon as a darker circle, right? Because the other side of the moon is been lit by the sunlight, and that we won't be able to see from the earth, right? But at the same time, if you look at the full moon, right, the side facing the earth, the sunlight will be falling on that side. So we will be able to see this moon as a complete circle. That we call it as full moon. So back to the formation or definition of supermoon. Supermoon is a new moon or a full moon closely coinciding with perigee, right? So perigee in the sense the closest approach. So when on the closest approach, if you are having a formation of new or full moon, we will be seeing supermoon. Supermoon in the sense the moon will appear more brighter and the larger in appearance, right? Now let's see about the impact of the supermoon. Okay, so the supermoon will be resulting in higher spring tide. Another key word there, spring tide. So ocean tides means that it's some kind of movement of ocean water, right? And this ocean tide, they are formed or created mainly because of the gravitational attraction of moon and the sun. Among them, the moon exerts more influence on ocean tides, right? So spring tide means when the sun, moon, earth, when they come in a straight line, right? That means either during the new moon or full moon, as in this case. As you can see here, during the full and new moon, the sun, the moon, earth will be in a straight line, right? During this process, the gravitational attraction of combined sun as well as the moon will result in higher tide. That we call it as spring tide. Okay, so when this spring tide combines with the perigee position, obviously the gravitational attraction exerted by the moon will be much greater, right? So more higher spring tide will be there. So direct impact of supermoon, you can say that it's higher spring tide or perigean spring tide, right? And there is a speculation that the natural disasters like earthquake or like say tsunamis, they coincide with they're caused because of supermoon. But as of now, there is no evidence which proves a relationship between the natural disasters like earthquake, tsunami with that of the supermoon. Okay, so the impact of supermoon is that it can cause higher spring tide or perigean spring tide. And there you should note down that even though I said higher spring tide, that gravitational attraction due to this perigee position is not that larger force, So the height of the spring tide created will be much negligible, or will be terms of say 1 inch or 2 inch, right? But anyway, still an impact, right? And why the supermoon, this term is in news? Like recently we witnessed one of the largest supermoons since 1948 on November 2016. Okay, and afterwards on the December 3rd 2017, the last supermoon occurred on December 3rd, right? So this is the major statements or important statements you have to remember regarding the supermoon. Now let's solve a question regarding the supermoon. Okay, let's see here, the brightness is being given there, right? During the supermoon, the perigee position we call it as supermoon. At the same time, when the moon is occurring on the apogee position, that we call it as micromoon, right? Anyway, same, right? Micromoon will be smaller, the supermoon will be bigger. Micromoon we don't see micromoon much in news, right? This figure shows the difference in the brightness and the shape, or the larger, the supermoon being larger than the micromoon. Not that much important. Anyway, let's go to the model question, right? So with reference to supermoon, a term sometimes seen in news, consider the following statements. It's a 2-statement question, right? A supermoon is a new or full moon closely coinciding with perigee, which is true. The second statement, it causes higher spring tides. Okay, spring tides coincide with the new moon or full moon, and when the perigee also coincides with that, we'll be witnessing higher spring tide, right? So here answer will come out as both 1 and 2.